We do not care.
Those first 4 games before they get to the bye, every one of those teams has a quarterback situation that you would take over Pittsburgh's. Every single one.
I mean, I think you could say that about.
Well, that's my point. See, that's what, to me, throws everything up in the air for this football team.
That's a fair.
I don't care. We can assess this schedule and slice it 1,000 different ways. Every single team's quarterback situation right now on that right there.
Louis,
would you take Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Wait a second. Look at that start of the schedule for the Steelers and imagine that Mason Rudolph is the quarterback.
Yeah, and
you feel like with what he's got around him, they would still do well there?
No.
No.
I think you're staring at 0-6.
I mean, like honestly, think about the Jets.
Love you, Mason.
I mean, I'll tell you what. Aaron Glenn will blitz him into oblivion. The Seahawks, Mike McDonald, that's a pretty good defensive coordinator. All right. And with the Patriots, Mike Vrabel with that new defensive line up there in New England. The Vikings with Brian Flores, with the man, come on.
And this is an offense
like that right there.
It's an offense that's only DK Metcalf right now on the perimeter.
I also said this on NFL Live yesterday. I was fascinated to see how many primetime games they would give the Steelers without knowing who the quarterback is. And they don't have 8 primetime games. They don't have 10 primetime games. It doesn't feel like the NFL is saying, oh, this is a Super Bowl contender and Aaron Rodgers is that guy. It seems like this is a middle-of-the-road team based on the schedule they got.
Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. That might be one of the worst takes I've ever heard in my life. Steelers fan for 22, 23 years, for a long time now. Dan Orlovsky. Dan, out of all people, Dan. This guy, Dan Orlovsky, hot take trash. The bloke who walked outside of the end zone because he had no idea where the end zone was and caused himself a safety is saying, I think you are staring at 0-6 in the face and pretty much saying that Mason Rudolph is hot garbage. This dead set might be the worst take that I've ever heard media talk about in a long, long time. They keep pushing the Mason Rudolph thing. He's not a starter. He's a bad backup. He can't win games. This, and that. It's absolute horse piss. And when it comes from Dan Orlovsky, you need to chuck this out the window. Let's remember, this is a Mike Tomlin team. Mike Tomlin has this team ready to play. He's going to get the best out of Mason Rudolph. He's going to get the best out of Aaron Rodgers if he signs or whoever. He's going to get this team to be competitive. Now, the quote was on, part of NFL Live or what it was. I think there was Shefty there. Riddick was in there, but mainly focusing on Dan Orlovsky saying, I think you're staring at 0-6 in the face. Let's look at this. Let's look at the teams that they're facing over the first 6 teams. And he reckons the Steelers are going 0-6, which is absolute bullshit. Jets. So they're saying that they would rather have Justin Fields over Mason Rudolph. Now, that could be a possibility, right? It's not a bad take that Justin Fields could be a better quarterback than Mason Rudolph. It doesn't mean that the Jets team's going to win 1-0 and we're just not going to win games because we haven't got a quarterback. Now, some people would rather Mason Rudolph. Other people would rather Justin Fields. I like how Justin Fields played with the Steelers. He went for a 4-2 record. I'm not going to bash the quarterback. I'm more going to bash the take that was Dan saying the Steelers are going to go 0-6. So that was week 1. Week 2 is Sam Darnold. He's the quarterback for the Seahawks, and we're playing at home. There's no guarantees that Sam Darnold is going to absolutely rip us apart. And if Mason Rudolph is playing, he's going to fall over and we're going to go 0-2. That's crazy to me. It could easily be 2-0, 1-1. The Steelers can win both games. Then you have the next game being the Patriots in their house, and it's Drake May, week 3. So the Steelers are going 0-3. Out of the easiest part of their schedule, Dan Orlovsky, this bloke, the guy who runs out of the end zone, is saying the Steelers would go 0-3. We're facing an 0-6, 0-6, staring 0-6 in the face, right? So Steelers are going to lose to Drake May, and they have no competitive vibe from that point. Then you go to the Vikings over in Dublin, which I'm hoping to go over to Ireland and see how we go, right? and they're going to be playing rookie quarterback J.J. McCarthy. So we're going 0-4. We've lost to Fields. We've lost to the Seahawks in Darnold. We've lost to Drake May. These aren't high-quality quarterback names, but because we have Mason Rudolph, we've lost all 4. We've gone 0-4. Then you go into the bye, have a nice bye, chill out. Then week 6, right? So this is the 15th. This is the Browns. The Browns also have a really bad quarterback room right now. You've got Joe Flacco, you've got Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, the rookie, Shedeur Sanders, and someone else. Or Deshaun Watson, who they paid like $1 million for. You're telling me that Dan Orlovsky thinks he'd rather have the Browns quarterback situation with those 5 quarterbacks paying $100 million for Deshaun Watson, who did absolutely nothing, over Mason Rudolph. This shows you how clueless the NFL media is about the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no way that Mike Tomlin would allow his team to go 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4, have a bye week, and then go 0-5 right out the gate. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The last team, though, you have week 7 versus Joe Burrow. Now, who remembers that Rudolph run to Christmas, Rudolph saved Christmas? The first game, he beat Joe Burrow, or quarterback to quarterback, he beat the Bengals, right? He beat them. So he threw a nice pass to Pickens. See you later, 90-odd yards. Rudolph won 3 games in a row to get us to the playoffs, and then we lost against the Bills. So this is all absolute horse piss. It's just horse piss. Now, I wanted to look into some stats, right? I'm a stat guy. I love stats in games. I love stats in NFL. I love stats in all kinds of things. And I wanted to show you 2 things, 2 pictures. The top one, and you could try and guess at home, when you're playing at home on TV or laptop or mobile, try and guess who is which quarterback. These 2 careers so far, right? These 2 pictures here, the top one and the bottom frame, they are 2 quarterbacks that have played in the NFL, and one is current. At home, try and figure out which one is which. The first one up top is career 26 games. They've won 2 games, lost 10. Completion rate of 58% or 58.2%. 3,132 yards. 6.1 yards attempt. 15 TDs. Interceptions 13. And fantasy points 158.5. Now, that's pretty bad, right? The other one is, with career, is 29 games. They've won 9 games, 8 started, and 1 tie. 63.7%, 4,615 yards, 6.7 yards per average, 28 TDs, 20 interceptions. Which one's fucking better? Out of those 2, without looking it up, without me telling you right now, in the comments below, which one's better? A for the top, starting 12 games and winning 2 of them, or starting 18 games and winning 9 and having a tie. Which one's better? Now the bottom one isn't the greatest thing, but out of these 2, which one is better? This take by Dan Orlovsky is absolute trash. They have no faith in Mason Rudolph to be the quarterback, to be QB1. They have no faith in him being QB2 if Aaron Rodgers were to start and then he were to get injured and come in and save the day, like he did back when Kenny Pickett got injured. So it's absolute crap. And by the way, with these 2 things, 2 pictures here, it's the top one is Dan Orlovsky, the same guy who ran out of the end zone. He started 12 games. He went 2 wins and 10 losses, had 58%. And on the bottom one is Mason Rudolph, who's gone 9-8 and 1 and has 63%. The bottom guy, the bottom pitcher is much better at 28 TDs than it is the top pitcher with 15. This guy that ran out of the end zone. You got to look out for this kind of stuff. This kind of stuff fires me up because they're not giving the Steelers a chance, and they think that they're going to go 0-6 because right now the quarterback is a massive problem. It's definitely a hole in the offense, and it needs to be solved in terms of they could go and get A-Rod to come over, or they could go and get another quarterback to fill the gap, and you roll out with Mason Rudolph. If the Steelers roll out with Mason Rudolph, the NFL is going to fucking lose their absolute mind. But Steelers fans know that this team can be competitive. So they're saying we're going to go 0-6. We're going to lose against the Jets, lose the Seahawks, lose against the Pats, lose the Vikings overseas, lose against the Browns at home, and lose against the Bengals. It's absolute horse piss. I'll leave it there. Thank you, Steel Nation. Just a reminder that Mason Rudolph, if he does start, he will be going on a Rudolph redemption tour, and the goatee means business. This guy has been working out. This guy has a second chance. This guy has signed a two-year contract for $8 million, and this guy, Mason Rudolph, will prove everybody wrong if he gets a chance. Now, will the Pittsburgh Steelers give him a chance? Is he going to be the backup behind someone else coming in? We don't know yet. But if he gets a shot and goes to offseason, he will have a chance to be starter in this league again, like he did. He was starting with the Titans. He started with the Steelers. He needs to have a chance. But the take of the day and the hot trash take, I think you're going to start 0-6 and staring 0-6 in the face is absolute horse piss.